Look. I used to fuck with you, but I had enough. Think it's crazy we don't talk when we used to fuck. Got my name tatted on your skin, and for what? Doing you, better be honest, that ain't not enough. You say I'm really cool, but you just wanna run amok. Rather go and get a bag and then I add it up. All the love that you gave me wasn't real love. I even gave you all of me, but it wasn't enough.
La última canción. La última canción.
Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, amigos de La Última Canción Podcast. Estamos aquí nuevamente con otro episodio para ustedes. Si han visto los episodios anteriores, saben que dentro de este podcast hay un gusto particular por el hip hop y por el rap, por la música urbana también que está ocurriendo en estos días. Por lo tanto, hoy día tenemos el agrado de tener un invitado que estamos muy contentos de tenerlo acá en el episodio y en el programa. Se trata de JayR. ¿Cómo estás, JayR?
Mucho gusto por tenerme en el podcast. I'm ready to share a little bit about myself. Para que sepan de dónde vengo y, my interest en la música, pues.
Perfect. So, este episodio va a estar en inglés y en español, así que cuando lo vean por YouTube pueden poner el translator y ahí van a poder entender todo lo de la conversación, así que vamos adelante. Partamos entonces. ¿Cómo estás, JayR? ¿Cómo te ha ido?
Muy bien. Ahorita I'm focusing mucho en la música, en el trabajo, pues. Tengo muchas cosas que quiero hablar contigo para el podcast y a ver si se puede. Voy a tratar de responderte las respuestas en español.
However you feel comfortable, just go ahead, okay?
Because mi español está un poco
broken.
Yeah, it's
Don't
broken
worry
Spanish,
about it.
but I'm gonna try my best to.
That's good. Don't worry about it. Well, first we want to know, when do you start in the music? Like, how you gain interest on start doing rap, especially, and how rap became a thing in your life.
So I'm gonna take it back to the roots. Estaba en la escuela, en high school, en el grado 10. Hace tiempo es cuando tenía un proyecto en clase de inglés. Tenía un proyecto donde teníamos que hacer como poems, con letras, to kind of rhyme letters.
Okay.
And me di cuenta que, I was good at, rhyming letters, and it started off with small words, So ya después más tiempo pasó y me gusta bien mucho la música de Tupac Shakur. Yo sé que hay mucha gente allá en el mundo que conoce ese artista.
Tupac es una gran influencia, un personaje muy conocido.
Entonces, ese tiempo estaba escuchando bien mucha su música de Tupac y con el project de haciendo los poems y todo eso, puse las letras esas como en música de instrumentos. Y pues así pensó la cosa de
So it was a good fit.
It was a good fit, So when I started making music with poems and I started writing my music, on beats, instrumentals, I noticed that I learned that I was onto something because I was really good at it. And just from starting off, So when I started making music and recording it professionally, and for people to hear my craft, I noticed that I'm onto something. And even people told me, estás muy bueno en la música, or you're really good. And primero yo pensé que nomás me están diciendo cosas que quiero.
Yeah, that you would take
that I would like to hear.
Como que son judgments.
Yes, and I'm thinking, muchas mentiras, so they won't be rude. But over time, as I'm, ya va pasando mucho tiempo y todavía estoy haciendo música, pues. I'm getting more confident, more comfortable, and more in tune with the process. Y siempre, y yo le pongo mucho corazón en mi música, de lo que es, share my stories, my background, whatever experiences. Y todavía me dicen, hey, you're good.
Yeah.
So I started to think to myself, I kind of reflect and say, I like my music. Personally, if I'm to sit down, si me quedo sentado escuchando mi música, I like to listen to my own stuff, because I grow from it. And that's how all that came about. And I started to reflect when people started to tell me, I'm like, are they telling me what I want to hear, or do they really mean it?
Okay, para la gente que esté ahí viéndonos y escuchándonos, les recomiendo mucho que vayan a YouTube. Hay un video de JayR, que es un single que sacó hace poco, que se llama Letter to Jesse. Ahí van a poder ver su trabajo. Vamos a volver sobre eso en un momento más, pero quería preguntarte un poco, why you think like rap is more about the flow, it's more about the lyrics, it's more about what, like the vibe? What you think it's like the main thing that you think like lead rap ahead in your experience?
That's a good question. Buena pregunta. Para mí muchos artistas tienen diferente opinión de cuando hacen música. Para mí me gusta, how do you say share in Spanish? I like to share my experiences, compartir mis experiencias por la música, through music. So para mí es muchos, just like I said, experiences. Also, I would like to leave like an impression on people, and have them like think for themselves, because muchas cosas que yo that I say in my music, a lot of people can relate to it, whether
it's like a common experience for
like
people.
Like an experience, so a lot of my music is just come from an experience, and a lot of things I don't like to rap about things that I've never experienced, that I've never been through. In the community de LA se llama rap cap, se dice rap cap. Cuando andan cantando de cosas que no hicieron.
Claro, que no son reales.
You know what I'm saying? So, y más en mi nombre, JayR TRUU significa eso. JayR TRUU para mí es, you gotta be true to yourself. You gotta be true to you. Por eso se escribe con doble U's. Two U's. True to you.
Oh, it's for the true.
So you guys get the picture of how it's spelled. So, eso para mí, para to stay original en la música.
Yo, Blizz, turn me up a little. Look. I remember I was young and hanging with the big boys. I remember young thugging in the whip, drift off. Just wanted to be you when I was growing up. Wanted to be you when I was growing up. I remember I was young and hanging with the big boys. I remember young thugging in the whip, drift off. Just wanted to be you when I was growing up. Wanted to be you when I was growing up. Shit ain't the same without you. You here, but you're not here. I know you're doing time in the pen, but it feel like I lost you. My bad, I haven't wrote you. I met the same one last year, and I just wanna thank the Lord that you ain't dead and gone. Just know I'm praying to the Lord that you gon' make it home. I know that feeling in them cages, man, you're not alone. One day I'ma make it to the top, and you gon' ride along. Yeah, but you gon' ride along. I've been living life so crazy. It's been a couple times I almost had a little baby. Look me in my eye, let shawty tell me what you see. See the way you give me head, I know you feeling me. Tell me what you want, cause I can give you what you need. You should fuck with me, I can give you what you need. They don't wanna see me when we automatically enemies. I'm the man with a plan, they can be like me. I remember I was young and hanging with the big boys. I remember young thugging in the whip, drift off. Wanted to be you when I was growing up. Wanted to be you when I was growing up. I remember I was young and hanging with the big boys. I remember young thugging in the whip, drift off. Wanted to be you when I was growing up. Wanted to be you when I was growing up.
Tell me what you want, I could give you what you need. If I only hit it once, it's cause she didn't let me breathe. Shawty know that I'm the one, like if I'm a dying breed. She don't love me, think I'm stupid, she just tryna have my seed. Hold up, baby, wait a minute, please, could you fall back? If I hit it once, don't know if I ever call back. Shawty sprung, but I'm not, tell me what you call that. I'm a player in the field, even got my ball cap. I'ma tell it like it is, I don't even need to lie to you. Don't believe a bitch, and not even if she cried to you. Money over hoes, why you think I'm saying bye to you? If you wanna go ahead, nobody stopping you. All about the money, yeah, I'm all about a bag. It get hard for me to pick when all of them looking bad. Tell my bro we almost next, but we started in the back. Let's run up a rap check and throw that shit in the stash.
I remember I was young and hanging with the big boys. I remember young thugging in the with drift off. Wanted to be you when I was growing up. Wanted to be you when I was growing up. I remember I was young and hanging with the big boys. I remember young thugging in the with drift off. Wanted to be you when I was growing up. Wanted to be you when I was growing up. I remember I was young and hanging with the big boys. I remember young thugging in the with drift off. Wanted to be you when I was growing up. Wanted to be you when I was growing up. I remember I was young and hanging with the big boys. I remember young thugging in the with drift off. Wanted to be you when I was growing up. Wanted to be you when I was growing up.
¿Tú sientes que, in order for you to talk about real things, you had to live a lot, you had to go through a lot?
Not necessarily, no es mucho así donde tienes que hablar en la música de políticas que no sabes or things that you never been through. En música puedes hablar de lo que sea y por eso es como, how you say it, mucha gente, hay mucha gente que le gusta escuchar música de políticas, pues. You don't have to be from an area, or you don't, in my opinion, you don't have to experience something to rap about it or to sing about it.
Yeah,
you know, it's just the way how you word it, how you put your music, how you wordplay it. You know, it has a lot to do with that. But, you know, that's not really what I'm trying to do with my music. You know, I just want to share my experiences. Because it's more like a vibe. It's una vibra, you know, de lo que es ese momento. So se me queda, you know.
Los Ángeles tiene una historia de rap que viene ya de los años 80, tal vez con NWA, anterior tal vez con Ice-T, que un poco se oponía a la música más de New York, era como otro tipo de rap, otro tipo de hip hop. ¿Tú naciste acá en Los Ángeles?
Sí, claro que sí.
Nacido y criado en Los Ángeles. ¿Cómo sientes tú que el neighborhood o digamos los lugares donde tú has vivido te ha influenciado en tu manera de rapear? Si es que eso tiene alguna conexión con la manera de rapear de Los Ángeles.
A big influence on my life. Big influence. Muchas veces yo en la música que yo escucho es de aquí de Los Ángeles. So when I listen to a beat, an instrumental, I go based off the LA West Coast sound.
Oh, so you get that
so I have
sound.
already that instinct, that insight, because I'm already born and raised in, you know, these areas in LA. I have that West Coast sound, you know.
Yeah.
So when I make my music, I try to go with the West Coast because I'm being original to my to where I'm
feel
from,
more
you know?
more in touch with
more in touch with my culture here, you know.
Yeah,
you know, that's me being here in LA. Your surroundings, what you see, what you've been through, the characters in every city. Because every city has a character. Every city has character. You know, so you see that, and you rap about it, or people know.
Right.
Even you don't have to rap about it, but when people listen to your craft, they're gonna know. Oh, he's from LA. You know?
Yeah,
porque se escucha muy de Los Ángeles.
He has some sort of
esos elements.
flower.
Yeah. So
that's true.
That's one of the things too that I've always told people. My city did a big influence on
what you do
and
your craft.
Too. Yeah.
So you mentioned Tupac as an influence.
One of my biggest influences.
What other influence did you been kind of like put into your work, or like that's kind of like take over your ears?
You're talking about like artist-wise, or different artists?
Like different artists that you kind of like see them and you kind of say, okay, that's cool. That's something that I would like to get through.
Okay, so artistas, right? Artistas.
Musicians,
So también, pues el Tupac, you know, él canta de muchas cosas real en la vida, y hay también habla de políticas. In the darkest places of the world, he reaches out to people.
It's weird, like for sure, like Tupac is very well known by a lot of people in Latin America. People love him too, like people that is into rap music, into hip hop, know him very well, and kind of like know his like how he is, the big figure that he is, right?
Iconic, legend.
But at the same time, what is your own view of Tupac? What you can talk about him? What you can say about Tupac in your own view?
In my own view,
Yeah.
he was for sure an activist. Fue un, ¿cómo se dice activist en español?
¿Qué cosa?
Activist.
Un activista.
Activista. He was very political, very poetic, you know, and just kept it raw and 100%, you know. A lot of interviews that I saw growing up, because, you know, he died the year 96, the year 1996. I was 2 years old. I didn't know who the man was. So when he died in 1996, you know, I grew up listening to that music, just, you know, my family, you know, I grew up listening to him. And I'm like, wow, I like his music. So as I got older, I'm reaching out, I'm looking, you know, typing his name in on the computer when the computer came out. Who's Tupac? Who is this guy?
Right.
And
What caught your attention about him?
just the way he put his music, you know,
Okay,
and I
so you
started off as
listened
a
to him
young
and you were
age.
like, what?
Yeah, so think about it, you know, piénsalo, mira, él se murió en el año 1996. Yo tenía 2 años, yo bebecito cuando él murió. Y tiene un impact tan grande. He has a far reach of people, and even in the darkest corners of the world, and he reaches out to people's soul, you know, with his music.
Right.
And I'm like, who is this guy? So I'm reaching out, I'm looking at him, doing my research, you know, and the more that I'm watching the interviews, the more that I'm, you know, getting to know him. But that's the only way that I know him, is through music and the interviews that, you know, he's done over the years, you know. That's the only way I know him,
Right.
you know. So, man, Tupac, in my own words, I mean, he influenced me on why I wanted to rap. He influenced me on why I wanted to start, you know, making poems and you know, all that stuff. So, because he did a lot of that. He was into that craft. He was into art.
So he was
into,
inspired.
I was inspired by this guy, you know.
And,
So,
as you as a what do you think about the word Chicano? You consider yourself Chicano?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, knowing that you know, like, Spanish from your, like, were like
Yes.
your parents, and then, like, grew up in a English speaking society. How you feel the outcomes, or how you feel the uprising of the Spanish, like, Mexican rap, like Spanish English rap, like, or like it was in the 90s with Cypress Hill, you know, like, how you connect with that tradition, with that, like, some sort of well, I will say tradition.
The Chicano community in art,
And the Chicano rap.
the Chicano rap too. So I feel like I have, you know, that's taking the influence on me too now. You know, la música español, como artistas como Peso Pluma, ¿cómo se llama? Gerardo,
Junior H.
Junior H, you know, the Fuerza Regida, all these new guys, you know, they're, you know, I'm listening to their music and it's really good, you know. So
Right.
they're getting their shine. They're definitely getting their shine in the music. You know, rising. We're definitely as a whole in this industry. I feel like we're definitely getting that chance to kind of blow up and show the world, like, you know what, this is what we're doing, and this is how we're coming, you know.
Right.
Because I feel like very strongly on Chicano community has a big role on the growth of America and overall.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Here in California, for sure. Yeah.
I don't want to leave other, you know,
States.
race groups or states
yeah.
that are that didn't contribute, because there's other groups that did contribute.
Yeah, for sure.
But musically speaking, and in this industry, we're
Yeah, I mean, like,
definitely getting our
Mexican
shine.
culture is pretty big in America,
Yeah,
in USA.
absolutely.
I was like watching. Well, I like to watch documentaries, and some of the things that really amaze me is how the border became not something like a frontier, like a physical frontier.
Right.
It's also a place where, like, there is an interchange of cultures and way of being. I'm talking especially about the city called Calexico, which is in the frontier, and they share both culture, like, in a more harmonic way.
Okay.
Actually, there is a band that I really recommend you. It's called Calexico. They're really good. But yeah, now I seen how for sure, let's say Natanael Cano or like the Corridos Tumbados, they start getting big in LA first and then like spread around the world.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So when I was hearing your music, I get there's like a special flavor that I haven't heard in a long time, which is mostly like a 90s type of rap with like some modern sounds, you know, like you know, you get to see there's like new technology going on, but you maintain the flavor, right? And that's something that just happened, or is something that you do it in purpose?
You know, eso es algo que nomás pasó así, donde you know, entro en el booth para grabar la música. Es algo que pasó nomás, natural.
Ese es tu flavor.
Es mi flavor, es mi lingo, es mi... You know what I'm saying? That's just how I started to... I found my sound, you know, encontré mi modo de la música. You know, es algo que pasó bien natural, la verdad.
¿Y cómo...?
You, but I had enough. Think it's crazy we don't talk when we used to fuck. Got my name tatted on your skin, and for what? Doing you, better be honest, that ain't not enough. You say I'm really cool, but you just wanna run amok. Rather go and get a bag and then I add it up. All the love that you gave me wasn't real love. I even gave you all of me, but it wasn't enough. You let me for a bum lame, I can't go back. Even if I wanted to, or can you downgrade it back? Put that on my mama, you can stay over there. You just love the way I fuck, I had your ass up in the air. I used to be fucked up about you, now I don't care. I don't even know what's up with you, I feel embarrassed. Lately I've been back on my bullshit, and I be stepping on these hoes, that's how I'm moving. Ooh, used to be my baby. Why you acting like there ain't no reason to be crazy? Why you still hitting my line when you got a man? Talking about you miss me too and I don't understand. Couldn't have been together so you ain't stick to the plan. It don't hit me with no test like what you doing, how you been? Cause I've been alright, I got myself a new chick. Yeah, I've been alright, I bought myself a new whip. And I've been so fly, so fresh, new drip. You ain't even got a lie on the best you ever had. You ain't even wanna ride, wait till the end. I ain't even gonna lie, love the way you gave me neck. Told you new nigga to stop stalking on the internet. Then you wanna in my line talking shit. What a mess, he ain't even know how to move right. I've been living like that's like. Used to fuck with you, but I had enough. Think it's crazy we don't talk when we used to fuck. Got my name tatted on your skin, and for what? Doing you, but to be honest, that ain't not enough. You say I'm really cool, but you just wanna run amok. I'd rather go and get a bag and then I add it up. All the love that you gave me wasn't real love. I even gave you all of me, but it wasn't enough.
¿Y cómo se te ha dado a ti? Como tú estás entrando a poco en la escena, ¿no? Estás como poco a poco tocando en lugares, presentándote en algunas partes. ¿Cómo ha sido para ti el encuentro con la audiencia? Como cuando te has presentado en vivo o las veces que has testeado tu música en audiencias un poco más allá de la gente que tú conoces.
So reaching out to like an audience or...
Sí, yeah, like the encounter with the audience, how like the feedbacks.
So a lot of times tengo mucha gente que me dice, hey, la música está bien buena, tienes mucha potencia de subir, pues, you know? Nomás que yo en mi parte de un artista tengo que estar en más consistent, pues. You know, I have to be more consistent, more in the field of doing this kind of work. For the most part, a mí me gusta bien mucho hacer la música, es algo que nunca va a parar de hacer. So my audience always says, you know, even on social media, because social media is a bigger platform and it's really a main source where I interact with my audience. So just the feedback on Instagram and even YouTube, my YouTube channel, hay mucha gente que siempre me dice, hey, you know, estás bien buena en la música, you know, keep doing you, keep growing, you have potential.
No, yeah, definitely.
You know?
No, you're good, bro. You're
so,
good.
That, I mean, the feedback from my audience, I would like to say it's great. You know, I have a lot of, I have supporters that I've never even met before that are, you know, streaming my music, you know, and shouting me out. So
¿Tu música actualmente la gente la puede encontrar en qué plataforma más? ¿En SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube?
Tengo música en el tengo música por todos lados, la verdad. Tengo música que grabé primero en SoundCloud. So SoundCloud, I have a lot more music that you guys can listen to. JayR TRUU, no, SoundCloud.com/JayR TRUU.
Perfect.
My finest work, I would like to say, is my work is growing, and I'm growing within my music. You can find it on YouTube. So my latest one is JayR TRUU featuring Eddie SCLA. It's called Letter to Jesse. That's one of my greatest works that I've done so far. So
Perfect. Yeah, no, it sounds really amazing.
yeah, and I also have another song with Jules. You guys will know him soon because he's getting his shine too. So
Perfect. Cool.
you can find him on YouTube as well with legit signed artists. And that's only gonna be beneficial for me too to move up, and they're gonna look him up and be like, hey, who's this guy?
Perfect.
Or who he's singing with, So that's a good thing, It's a good thing.
So can you give us like a sneak peek of how those relationships work and how that gonna help you as an artist, like how those connections kind of create a scene?
For those who heard the phrase your network is your net worth, it has a lot to do with with the people you associate with. La gente que haces negocios en música. So a lot of times that's really what my goal is, is to network with as much as artists as I can, so that I could get known and expose myself out there with music. And it's always gonna be a stepping stone too. It's gonna look good on your resume with music,
right?
So as I keep growing, as I keep moving forward up the ladder, musically speaking, and people are gonna see, oh look, he has this song with Jules. They're gonna see, okay, and they're gonna look him up, and he has his little platform going with his audience, So in a way, that's gonna help me too, because some people are gonna listen to Jules and they're gonna be like, I'm into this artist, I like this artist Jules. Me gusta bien mucho su música. So they're not gonna see me with him, and they're gonna say, "Oh, who's this guy flowing like this?"
Right.
They're gonna search my name up, see what my songs is out
pull
there.
You to something else, and
so it's gonna open more doors eventually in the long run. So that's what I always mean by when I say your network is your net worth. So you want to always be able to be open to networking with different artists.
Perfect.
So that's my opinion. That's how I'm.
That's kind of like the strategy that you're putting through.
Yeah, that's my strategy. Yeah. Exactly.
Cool. So now you were telling me que en este momento tú estás viviendo en Compton. ¿Hace cuánto vives en Compton?
Pues apenitas me moví en Compton. Ya tengo casi, I want to say 2 years.
Okay.
Or something like that. Yeah. But I lived in all other areas. I lived in the city of Huntington Park. I lived in the city of Southgate. I lived in South Central for a little bit.
So mostly South LA.
The Double S area. Yeah, Double S.
Sí, bueno, la gente en el mundo conoce Compton por la escena del rap.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like NWA es como like a big thing from Compton. And tú estando ahí 2 años, ¿qué nos podrías contar de cómo eso ha generado? Porque, digamos, hay una mística, some mystic about, Compton, even though it's kind of like a place that endures a lot of, social injustice and, segregation. And people, I've been having there, and I know how it is, and sometimes, there's people also there's a lot of energy, people putting up with their culture, and they wanted to be here.
Yes.
So how does touch you? How does the neighborhood of Compton what's Compton has to give you that you can tell us?
Compton definitely has character. La ciudad de Compton también tiene muchos donde salieron muchos artistas famosos, Ice Cube, YG, we have Kendrick Lamar. All these big mainstream artists came from the city Compton. And like you said, NWA also originated from Compton, city of Compton. What I get from the city, lo que yo agarro de la ciudad de Compton is muchos, I want to say different perspectives, different perspectives of people who like the Latino community, and then you have the black community, and we're like neighbors, you know, we're neighbors there. You know, let's be real, we're neighbors there, and we just learn to coexist with each other. You know, we learn to coexist. It's very diverse too. You have other race groups there too. I just really can't think. Like we have Armenians. There's some Armenians. You know, just with the business going on there too.
So it seems like Compton is getting more diverse lately.
Yeah, it's like kind of like Long Beach, because you know Long Beach is very diverse. They got all kind of race groups there.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that too in Compton.
Yeah, I mean, like yo llegué acá a Estados Unidos. La primera vez que llegué a Los Ángeles fue el año 92. Yo era pequeño, tenía 12 años. Y en ese momento yo llegué 2 semanas después de, I don't know if you have heard about it, but like the riots here in South Central, when Rodney King case happened. El caso de Rodney King fue básicamente en el tiempo que las cámaras empezaron a ser populares, las cámaras Handycam, y alguien desde un edificio grabó en un alley a la policía golpeando a un afroamericano. Le partieron la madre, hermano. Y ese video se hizo release de manera pública y fue un escándalo. Llevaron a las policías a juicio y los declararon inocentes. Y eso generó una rabia generalizada, especialmente en la zona de South Central, que en ese tiempo la población de South Central era mayoritariamente afroamericana. Y empezaron con pequeños riots y eso se fue agrandando, se agrandó por todo downtown, empezaron a avanzar hacia Koreatown. Y de hecho hay una anécdota de Tupac que cuenta, en ese tiempo Tupac estaba grabando la película Poetic Justice con Janet Jackson. Claro, estaba grabando esa película, él estaba en los estudios acá por Universal. Y por contrato él no podía salir y dice, no, fuck it, yo voy a ir a ver qué está pasando con mi gente. Así, o sea, a mí eso me sorprendió porque Tupac era super real, you know. Y él llega y se viene a meter a los riots y cuenta que en un Tower Record, que era de estas disquerías que vendían CDs y vinyls, va saliendo un tipo con un montón, saqueando todo, ¿no? Estaban robando las tiendas, pero todo está incendiando hasta las masas. Y va saliendo un tipo y ve a Tupac y dice, Tupac, fírmame el disco. Claro, dice, se lo firma ahí mismo en el riot. Y yo llegué como 2 semanas después y me acuerdo que mi papá a veces tenía que venir al downtown. Nosotros vivíamos en el Valle de San Fernando y veníamos al downtown a veces. El downtown era una ciudad fantasma, o sea, como que había quedado súper como dañado un poco con los riots y la sensación, un poco la tensión en el aire estaba presente. Y salió como después de toda esa situación en Los Ángeles, sale el disco The Chronic de Dr. Dre.
2001, right?
No, The Chronic fue 1993, 1994, Fue The Next Year de lo que pasó Rodney King, que fue el primer The Chronic, porque después él hace otro The Chronic del 2001, que es otro distinto. Y el The Chronic, que es como un disco que marca un antes y un después, yo siento como para el West Coast Hip Hop. De ahí, bueno, aparece Snoop, Tupac became bigger than he was. Y claro, siento que las tensiones políticas, las tensiones sociales en Los Ángeles se fueron como abriendo un poco. Entonces, claro, por eso te pregunto por Compton, porque siento que también es una ciudad que ha ido cambiando con el tiempo, o no sé cómo lo percibes tú también de las otras partes donde has estado, en Huntington o en South Central, cómo tú has visto que un poco partes de la ciudad que estaban un poco como apartadas y las tenían un poco segregadas, si se han ido abriendo un poco más, como que se han vuelto más seguras.
El ciudad de Compton todavía tiene sus las cosas malas que todavía pasan, la ciudad all around it, muchas de las pandillas, hay muchas pandillas en ese lugar. Y eso es algo que yo creo que en mi opinión nunca is not gonna go away, it's not gonna go away. It's part of LA. It's part of LA, dude. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, LA is created gangs, the Bloods and the Crips. That's where first originated the roots of gangs, Bloods and Crips. And, I think the Chicanos got, the Mexicans, got this model and kind of like went from there, But I don't want to get into too much into those kind of politics.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, man, you know, in my opinion, I feel like that that's never gonna go away. Eso siempre va a estar, las pandillas siempre van a estar existiendo en esos lugares, pues, existing, right? So
yeah, no, for sure. But like, I mean, más que nada hago la pregunta como pensando en cómo how that hit your music, how that like gonna get into your lyrics or your music. Maybe you can talk about Letter to Jesse. Can you tell us about that song?
La canción de Letter to Jesse is dedicated to mi primo. It's dedicated to my cousin Jesse, Free Jesse, the dog. Esa canción, I was inspired to write about him, you know, because of the time that he was fighting. And when I was, and it's saying the song is self-explanatory. So yo cuando estaba de morro, you know, morrito, you know, I looked up to him and my other cousin Junior, you know, su hermano él, and somos primos hermanos, you know. I really looked up to them growing up. I still do look up to them, you know. They're like my bigger brothers, you know, because I'm the oldest in my family. Yo soy el más mayor en mi familia.
Okay.
De 7.
De tus hermanos.
De mis hermanos.
Okay.
So yo soy el más mayor. Pero para mí ellos son mis hermanos más grandes. They're my older brothers to me, you know.
Okay.
You know, as life goes on, you know, you move, you know, you deal with life, and you know, tienes niños, you know, you have kids, you know, and you do the family thing, you settle down, whatever, you know. My cousin Jesse, in my opinion, he still he has his family, but you know, some people you know, they you know, make mistakes, you know, and just like myself, I made mistakes too that I'm not proud of to this day. Pero para mí esa canción was inspired by my cousin, you know. I like to talk about my cousin music, and because he was fighting.
He rap as well?
No, not necessarily, but it's just like a series of, you know, violations, and you know, when you have a certain limit in your criminal history, the judge is gonna look at you and be like, hey, you know, no, you keep messing up, you know. So you know, a lot of times with the law, that's what happens, you know. You just keep messing up, and eventually the judge is gonna get tired of you and be like, hey, well, you keep coming back, you know, what are we gonna do with you?
Enough is enough.
Yeah, so él estaba peleando 17 a 32 años.
Peleando como Street Fighter?
He was fighting 17 to like 30 something years.
Wow.
You know, but luckily, thank God, que solo no fue eso. Fue más, like, way less
tú
than
te
that.
refieres que él estaba peleando,
He was
digamos,
fighting
por
his
una
case,
sentencia menor.
So he's gonna be out really soon, thank God.
That's cool.
And that's where the song came from, you know, because I wanted to be like him growing up, you know. I've always remembered, you know, when I was a kid that, you know, I wanted to follow their footsteps, you know. They would always, you know, be with the big boys. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that song came from.
No sé si te sientas como, si no importa, pero do you have any opinion about the justice system in LA, how that works, like how the police enforcement and how they apply the law towards sometimes minority groups? Do you feel that's something that you had seen in your life, something that you had witnessed?
Many times. La policía en Los Ángeles, they abuse their power. Let's be real, they abuse their power, you know. I've seen many times, in muchas occasions, where there's people that have been brutally, like, assaulted by cops. You know, without probable cause.
Out of the blue.
Just, you know, harassing people. And that happens a lot. You know, harassing people. And some people are not knowledgeable in their own rights. You know, hay mucha gente que no saben sus rights. So that's important, you know, for you guys, and especially the Chicano community, to know your rights. You know, as a U.S. citizen, know your rights, because these guys will take advantage of you. You know, I've seen it many times, you know, and I know there's a lot of people out there who do agree with what I'm saying. You know, these cops do sometimes, you know, abuse their power. You know, sometimes you have a bad apple in law enforcement, and that's that, you know. So sometimes you have officers that do want to do the right thing, you know, but there's always that element of, you know, force.
Y el como el factor del racismo también lo has visto. There's like some racist type of things there is.
You're talking about racism?
Yeah, racism within the police towards communities.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, there's I've heard of gangs within LAPD. The gangs with LAPD.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
I hear that.
So, and there's even some of these guys have the gang tattoo on them within law enforcement. So that just tells you a lot. Like, the government, the LAPD is the biggest gang out here.
Sí, bueno,
they just move with the law.
Yes.
And it's the same thing. Like
the budget that they have is like out of this world.
I don't want to say all cops are bad.
Yeah.
Not all cops are bad, but there's certainly for sure bad apples out there. So, that's what I do want to share. But then that's just my opinion. You guys are entitled to your own opinion. Mm-hmm. But that's my opinion. But that's how I feel because I've seen things.
That's what you had witnessed.
That's what I witnessed. That's what I not experienced, but I felt some kind of energy towards the cop before too, or I feel like he's looking down on me,
Okay, como que te prejuician.
Like, yeah. So it's like, wow, these motherfuckers really do, press the issue, off race too sometimes. But that's what I want to share.
How you feel like rap music? Do you feel like rap music is a tool to express that oppression that is kind of some sort of systematic oppression towards minority? Do you think that's why rap is so popular within communities that feel oppressed by the system?
Tupac Shakur fought with his pen, so yes, I do believe that rap music is it's a tool, es algo que puedes usar para que tengas mucha gente escuchar tu opinión, o los políticas que está pasando de racism or any police brutality, or just that side of life, because it still exists, todavía existe eso. So definitely eso es como un it's definitely a tool, express your thoughts, self-expression too, a lot. So that's definitely a tool, fight with your pen,
Ahorita, ¿qué viene para ti? ¿Cuáles son tus proyectos a futuro? ¿Vas a tener alguna presentación en vivo donde la gente te puede ir a ver? ¿Cuáles son cómo la gente te puede un poco seguir la pista?
Me pueden seguir en YouTube, en Instagram JayAngeles, JayY, Angeles with 2 S's. Follow me on YouTube, JayR TRUU. Ahorita I have quite a few projects that I'm working on right now. 2 canciones o 3, algo así. Y tengo como unos 4 artistas que quieren hacer música conmigo. Pero la única cosa que me tengo que organizar para hacer eso. Porque este mes estoy bien ocupado de puros projects. But I definitely do want to get out there. I definitely do want to put my music out, make more content, more videos. I just feel like when you do videos to any song, you have a further reach, because people want to see visuals now.
Yes.
We're in a digital age.
Yes.
People want to see videos. They want to see they don't want to just play a song and have a picture. They want to see stuff.
Are you gonna have any live performance anytime soon?
Live performances. I did my first performance not that long ago. In the city of Long Beach. Shout out to my boy Richard Luis. For putting me on and sharing his slot with me, so I was able to have that experience. So I just want to shout you out, bro. Again, I'm not sure if I do definitely want to do that again on a bigger platform, on a bigger stage, with lights and the whole shebang. I do definitely want to do that again, only time will tell, man. I gotta get connected.
So we can see you
definitely keep up
on
with
the
that
forefront.
for sure. Just gotta get in touch with more what are these guys? Promoters.
Promoters, yeah.
Definitely gotta get in touch with the
and-
promoters and the managers and people who have that kind of juice, you know. Because I definitely do want to get into like
So people
performing more.
like, if there's any promoter or manager that want to get in touch with JayR, you got your Instagram. So
Instagram.
that's the faster way to get to you.
Yeah, unfortunately, right now that's the only social media I have, and I should start making other social media accounts.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too much to keep up with, you know.
Yeah.
It's too much to keep up with.
No,
all
that's
the,
a side job. We know that because we run our
So
social media.
it's too much to
it
keep
is.
up with, you know, like to do all the social media, TikTok,
But
Twitter.
that's part of the
And-
now these days part of the job, brother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I have. Like I have the apps already on my phone. I just don't have the accounts.
Yeah,
But
no,
like
just
I
go
said,
to
get
it.
organized and start doing like, you know, all this other stuff, you know, because that like you said, it's part of the work, es parte del
Yes.
trabajo, es parte de crecer in the long run.
Sí, sí.
You know, tiene que ser mucho con eso, con social media en este tiempo que estamos, so, in a digital age.
Y unas últimas palabras que le quieras dedicar a la gente que te está viendo.
Your questions or
Like, no, like,
advice? Or?
like last word that you want to say to the people, the audience, the people that are listening you.
Last words, muchas gracias a la última canción, ¿verdad?
Canción, sí.
For having me here. Muchas gracias. It's been a pleasure, you know. Thanks for your questions.
Pleasure is ours. So
Yeah, likewise.
Thank you so
likewise.
much.
Thank you for this. This is a good experience too. I just want to say to my audience out there who's ever watching, like, if you have a dream, if you have something that you want to do, if you have goals, don't be afraid to go for it. You know, don't be afraid to kind of like get out there and do it. Most importantly, don't care about what other people are saying, what other people think about you, because your greatest power is gonna be your confidence in doing these things. You know, your confidence is your superpower. So go out there and do it. You know what I'm saying? Because me personally, I'm doing this music because I like to do it. You know, I like to share my experiences through music, and I have a lot of good feedback. So like I said, if you guys have dreams, go for it. Don't be afraid. Just do it. You know, word from JayR TRUU.
Perfect. Well, so este fue JayR. Estamos contentos que haya venido. Lo vamos a dejar con una performance que va a hacer ahora. Así que cariños, abrazos a todos. Síganos en las redes sociales. Comenten los videos. Denos me gusta. Me gusta es nuestro sueldo. Pronto tendremos más novedades, otros episodios. Así que estamos al habla. Que estén todos muy bien. Hasta la próxima.
You guys.
Yo, Gigi, turn it up.
Gotta understand, you ain't fucking with a low life, man, with a plan, yeah. Tell you how it goes, right? Been to the pen, but that don't mean you should judge, right? I started from the bottom, see the glow, right? You gotta understand, you ain't fucking with a low life, man, with a plan, yeah. Tell you how it goes, right? Been to the pen, but that don't mean you should judge, right? I started from the bottom, see the glow, right? I'ma pull up slide, let's go for a cruise. It's Liddy in my Honda, like we crazy in the coupe, yeah. PCH the scene and ride, we vibing to the views. Look at myself in the mirror, to me, I keep it true. I did some things that I would take back, I ain't proud of it. It's family, I never gon' get back, they forever did. I do this for my loved one lost till I get a check. Even when I get a check, be the one pay my family debt. To get them out the hood, you never know who it is. We in the age when you don't got a bang, still get hit. Life is a shallow, baby, tell me what the feeling is. You been giving me the run around, I ain't feeling it. No, look, you can't really trust nobody, you gotta be cautious. Baby ain't on the low when they see flossing. You gotta move or they gon' slide. Keep it watch for life. Gotta understand, you ain't fucking with a low life, man, with a plan, yeah. I tell you how it goes, right? Been to the pen, but that don't mean you should judge, right? I started from the bottom, see the glow, right? You gotta understand, you ain't fucking with a low light man with a plan. Yeah, I tell you how it goes, right? Been to the pit, but that don't mean you should judge, right? I started from the bottom, see the glow, right? Gotta understand, shawty. Gotta understand. What look? You gotta understand. You ain't fucking with a low light.
I went on low light.